On this episode, I sit down with self-proclaimed RFB Dustin. Dustin is the guy your mama warned you about. Notice I said was. With a Wolf of Wall Street drive, he started his hustle early. It took him from Texas to New York, then Las Vegas, only to return to the only place he's ever wanted to be, here in Texas. After enjoying every minute of this wild ride, he decided to retire. Not from work, but from being an F-boy. So on this Valentine's Day, we tell his story, which is the story of a lot of guys and girls, and why what he has now is so much more worth it. We also talk about that if you have dreams of being a professional gambler, just stay at home. Let's jump in.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to a Moderately Good podcast. Hopefully, you are most definitely a returning customer and you've enjoyed what you've heard so far. So you're like, I'm just going to do that again. You picked a great episode, too. Before we get started, quick shout out. Above Average Joe. He does all my video and audio stuff. He's the dude that makes me look so cool on Instagram. So I really appreciate that. My guy, Jaron, he has a Instagram. It's called No Name Originals. And he does a lot of cool, like custom bleaching and staining of clothes, stuff like that. So check that out. And then my guy, Mo, he has this thing called the Go Bubble app. And it's a mobile detailing service. And they'll come detail like badass Toyota trucks and shit. Anyways. So with that said, I want to introduce y'all to my guy, Dustin. How's it going, Dustin?
What's going on, everyone? Everyone gets us two in the room.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and the 4 people that are listening.
There you go.
Yeah. So, and Dustin does have a badass Toyota truck.
I do. I caught that when you said it.
Yeah. So it's your truck is more badass than the truck in Back to the Future. Remember how Marty gets that truck at the end?
Yeah.
Yours is more badass than that, but the same emotion around it. Like when I watch that movie, I'm like, that truck's like so cool for that time of what he had. You know what I mean? So, well, how's it going, man? How's dad life?
Dad life is awesome, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I tell this to everybody who asks. People have said a million times, and you've heard this a million times, having a baby changes you.
Right.
You never know until you actually have a baby. And, everybody has nephews and nieces and, all the friends have kids. Here, hold my baby. And it's great for that 5-minute stint of, okay, well, this is cute. Okay, you got vomit on me. Be on your way.
Right.
My son has changed my life.
Okay. In what way?
One, I actually told my wife this today. How can you love somebody so much, that much? I mean, we've all had love. We all love, and to my wife, I love her with my entire life. I love her. I have never felt the kind of love before I had my son. I literally, I broke into, I mean, I'm 36 years old. I break into tears once a week just looking at my kid because I'm that happy to see him. That's just my guy. And that kind of love, I will never have, no feeling will ever compare to that.
I mean, I have to admit, like, I always thought, like, what's the big deal? You know what I mean? Like, okay, like, so you love this? Like, yeah, I love things, so I get it. You know what I mean? And then when you do have a kid, it's just different. It's just different. And I would say this, even though it's like one of the greatest things, it's not necessarily for everybody.
Right. Oh no, I
you have
agree.
to be the right kind of person to want to do some stuff like
Absolutely.
that. Right? So like, don't feel any pressure to have like kids if you don't want to.
Oh, I waited till I was 35. I mean,
bro, I was 44.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I mean, trust me, like, I mean, you tell me this, you probably at 36, you have a better perspective, correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think anytime beforehand, now mind you, you never know. I did live in Vegas for 4 years, right?
Right.
You get that knock at the door, hey, by the way, uh, anytime before this moment, 100%, I would not have been ready.
Yeah.
You have to be in a certain, for me personally, and this isn't for everybody, but I needed to be in a certain place in my life to be ready for that. And I grew up wanting kids. I wanted the whole story. I want a wife and I want kids, but had it happened in my 20s, I feel like I would have just been another statistic. I would have, then you got baby mama, and it would have been a different story.
I mean, and hopefully you don't take this offensively, but that is the absolute truth. Like, you know what I mean? Because how long have we known each other? We've known each other for a minute, like, right? Like 10, at least 10, maybe 10 years?
About 10 years. Yeah.
Maybe a little short of that?
Yeah, I think I moved back to Austin. I think I moved to Austin in 2012. So yeah, coming up on 10 years.
Yeah. So, I mean, I knew you in your 20s.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
And we don't have to talk about that. But so just really quickly, tell people what you do now, like what your job is now, because I have some questions around it, or I just wanted to pick your brain a little bit.
I'm a regional sales manager for a roofing company in San Antonio, and we do not to do the roofing pitch, if you will, but we do all of South Texas, San Antonio, Austin, Houston, Corpus Christi.
You're all the Tom Brady of roofing.
Yeah. And we get around. We do all right.
Yeah.
So I'm the regional sales manager. Started in 2016, kind of half-time, part-time. I was still doing, and I'm sure we'll get into this, but I was still playing poker as well. But 2018 or into 2019, I decided to start taking it more seriously. And now I've moved up the chain, and it provides a great life. And yeah, I love what I do.
Yeah, I mean, for anybody that would follow Dustin on Instagram or whatever, like, you could tell.
Oh, it's delicious.
Right? I told you, right?
It's great.
Right, like liquid death.
Liquid
ching,
death.
Ching. Yeah.
Yeah, mountain water.
Yeah, it's great though, right?
It's great. It's cool.
It's surprisingly great,
Yeah,
right?
that's really
I don't mean that in a bad.
I don't know what I thought I was expecting when you pulled it out. I was like, oh, cool, liquid death. I mean, what kind of seltzer is this?
Well, do you think? Well, they have a carbonated version.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, but do you think that if I wouldn't have said it was good, would you have still thought it was good when you drank it? Or
absolutely.
You think I influenced you?
No, I immediately said, oh, this is nice.
Right?
Yeah, that's great.
Liquid best sales pitch ever. Liquid death.
That's great.
Yeah. So, anyways, so tell me something.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're the expert in here. Tell me something that I need to know about my roof that most people don't know, that I don't know, that is important to, like, the maintenance, the care, the cost, the value of my home, anything. Like, tell me, do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. And not to go too deep into it, but right off the bat, making sure everything's up to code. There's code requirements that they're always coming out with, and one thing in San Antonio is metal drip edge is a code requirement all the way around the perimeter of the roof. And not to go into too much jargon of roofing, but that's important for protecting your investment, if you will. Helps prevent from rotted wood and so on and so forth. I can go way into that, but I would say the most important thing for you to know is just because your roof isn't leaking doesn't mean you don't have issues.
Like, I mean, just because it isn't leaking doesn't mean I don't have a leak. A leak.
Correct. Just because you're not seeing visible leaks does not mean that things aren't there to address. Roofs need normal maintenance, just like everything else. When a new roof goes on, you're sealed around all the vents and stuff like that, the piping jacks, and around those pipe jacks, roofers will use caulk to go around and seal those up. Well, those crack up and dry out over time. And, over time, especially in Texas heat and Texas weather elements, that starts to leave your roof exposed.
So am I understanding this correctly? It's important for me to have gutters. Is that what you're saying? Or when you say...
No, so drip edge, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Let me explain that a little bit more.
Hang on. Probably everybody except for me knows what drip edge is, but I didn't know. And I was like, well, maybe he means gutters. So I just want to clarify.
So on the side of your at your roof surface, when you get down to the edge of your roof, okay, you normally have fascia around, so that 1x or that 2x4 board that goes all the way around the perimeter of the house, that's your fascia. Most people have a 1x2 trim that's over that fascia just under the lip of the roof. Now, it's a code requirement to have drip edge, which is a 2-inch metal flashing that goes all the way around that trim.
Mm-hmm.
So it's installed under your felt, under your underlayment, which is what's really protecting your roof and keeping your roof from leaking. Shingles is nothing more than cosmetic. It's to make it look pretty. It does serve you. Don't all these roofers out here. I
all these roofers listening to the podcast.
All the roofers listening on this, I understand that there is some.
He's like this. Like, this is bullshit.
Yeah, this guy don't know what the hell he's talking about.
Anyway,
the shingles itself, water penetrates through the shingles. It does serve protection, but water penetrates through the shingles and it gets to your underlayment. Underlayment goes all the way down to the end of your decking, which is what your sheathing underneath the roof.
Mm-hmm.
Over time on a lot of these older houses, you'll get rotted decking all the way around, and because all that water runoff that is coming down to the
goes into your
roof,
house,
it's going onto the fascia, going onto the trim, and that's where you get all the wood rot all the way around your house.
Yeah.
Metal drip edge is a flashing that goes all the way around that trim, and it goes under the synthetic felt, which basically protects your entire roof from your underlayment to your decking. It's attached to your decking and over your trim, and basically gives you a barrier around your perimeter so you don't get all that wood rot.
And this is a code requirement in San Antonio, you
Correct.
said?
Yeah, and probably in Austin now as well.
Okay, really? Okay.
Yeah.
And it's a code requirement just because they don't want to have a bunch of like fucked up houses?
Yeah, a lot of claims coming in saying, hey, I got wood rot and I got a leak here and I got a leak here, and it's something that on new builds and on roof replacements, they require to have on the roof now.
Do you like documentaries?
Yeah.
You ever watch one of those documentaries where like there's like a timeline and they're showing like things that happen and then they go back, and they like reverse it back to like the beginning? Let's reverse it back to when you played poker in Vegas.
Yeah,
so
right.
so I just want you to talk about it like a little bit, and then I don't know, I probably have a ton of questions, but also I want you to speak to exactly what it is. So if someone by chance thought that they were going to go to Vegas and play poker, what they would really expect from your experience?
Stay home. Don't do it.
You're like, don't even try.
Do it.
Don't even try.
Don't do it.
Okay.
No, poker is like golf.
So how did you get into poker?
So when I went to Texas State, which had just transferred over from Southwest, one of my fraternity brothers, freshman in college, 18, smart guy. That's when online poker was huge. He started playing online poker. So, while we're all worried about chasing tail and how much can we throw up the next day,
right?
He was grinding cards on a screen. Well, it started getting the attention of the other fraternity brothers because he was making money and he was good and he was aggressive. So poker, that's when, World Series of Poker was real big. I think there was, massive payout in 2004. Everybody was following poker. Well, online poker, he was making a ton of money. Well, my fraternity brother, Hunter, won't say his last name, he made online in 2004 as an 18-year-old kid who just started college, made like 180 grand.
What?
Online. Killing it. So what do you think I want to do? I want to do that shit.
That's crazy.
Oh, so
what, why was he so good? Was he good at poker or was he good at math?
He was good at math. Okay. He was good at reading people. He was very aggressive. And he knew when to take risks when others wouldn't. And that's a big thing in poker, is knowing where you are and who you're playing. Numbers play a big part in it, but also timing is everything. The position you're in, where you're sitting in the hand, and your bankroll. Let's put it this way: if I got $1,000 in front of me and you got $100 in front of you, and I just look at you, and no matter what cards you're holding, I just grab my $1,000 and say, I'm all in. I'm putting my $1,000 against your $100. You're going to be much more apprehensive to throw in your $100 because I outstack you 10 times fold. So it's a balance of knowing your cards, knowing what's behind you, and knowing who you're playing against. And he was really good at that early.
Did he teach you, or did you already know a lot about poker?
No, I did not. I didn't know shit, and I lost a lot of money at 18. I lost a lot.
So
that's why I say poker is very expensive. If you're thinking about just jumping ship and going to Vegas to play cards, don't do it.
So did you Did you ask him for help?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Did he help you?
He did.
And you still lost money?
Well, I mean, at the beginning, yeah. I mean, because I'm just, I would do really well when he would sit in front of my screen with my money and play with my money. I made a lot of money.
Sure.
Then it's, leave a party and you go back to your dorm and you're playing by yourself and I'm drunk and then just pissing money away. Yeah, I mean, it's just how it was what it was.
All right. So how'd you get from there to Vegas?
So just a little backstory from after college years. Started running a sales company in 2007. I jumped on with a AT&T Uverse when fiber optics just came out and the big, nobody does the Time Warner crap anymore. Now fiber optics,
right.
I jumped on with a door-to-door sales company selling AT&T Uverse, pitching out fiber optics. And mind you, this is, I'm a 20-year-old kid and got no money, I'm making just enough. I think I was bartending and serving tables down at Dick's Last Resort in San Antonio at the time. And I had these guys come and try to pitch me at my door. And I, laughed it off. But then I started getting, thinking to myself, you're a slapdick. I could do what you're doing. I could do that.
Yeah.
So anyways, jumped into that sales company. It led me all around the U.S. for 2 years. I ended up in New York City.
Like that's where you were.
Where I went from San Antonio to Austin to Denver to Salt Lake City to Maywood, New Jersey to Mid-Hudson, New York, and into the city. I was on the East Coast making like $200K a year, door to door.
What?
Yeah.
Was that rough?
Yeah, it was the worst. The money was good, and I'm 20. I think I just maybe turned 21, or I was going to be 21. So at 21 years old. Then I have no real direction in life. I'm not quite sure. I'm just trying. I got to just hustle. I'm just trying to figure out my way. At 21, it's funny. At 21, you think you're a man, and now I have younger siblings that are in the early 20s. Now they're 23, 24. But when they're 21, you're looking at them and you just go, you just don't know it yet, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just don't know.
Old people say that kind of shit all the time, but it's true.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? When old people told me that, I was like, yeah, go fuck you, old man.
You're
like,
right.
I mean, but you're saying, but like when you get there, then you get it. So like,
you get it.
Nobody's lying to you. Everybody, they're trying to tell you the truth. Just listen, you know?
Seriously, and young ego, I'm the man and I go to the gym and you're not listening to anybody.
No,
you're the man.
Yeah.
I'm a grown man.
Yeah.
Well, I felt that way because I'm in New York making bukus. And I'm going down to like Hoboken, which is on the other side of the bridge, partying until 5, 6 a.m. and dropping like 3 dimes for shots for all of our people. Just cloud 9, right?
Yeah.
Just literally thinking I was the man. Then something hit this, and this will tie us into something later. I woke up one morning, and mind you, I was living in a 3-story house with 8 other the salesmen. We were just basically like a big Airbnb. I woke up.
It's
one
like
morning.
Real World.
No, seriously.
Or
that's literally what it
or like Real World meets not Wolf of Wall Street, but what's that other movie with Vin Diesel where they're all like they're all business dudes?
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't follow Vin Diesel anyway.
I mean, nobody does. But I'm just saying he was in the movie. I forgot.
Know.
Everybody's yelling at the podcast right now. It's that, but whatever. The point is like y'all were just a bunch of single dudes,
hustlers, that's
just
all
hustling and just partying.
Yeah, that's literally all it was.
Yeah.
So I woke up one day and I something just hit my core, man. I just felt sick to my stomach and was just depressed for like 2 days. And it dawned on to me, this money's great, but this East Coast living isn't for me. And the amount of money I'm making is fantastic, but I want to be back home. I want to be where my roots are. I want to be around people
fast.
I love.
It's fast,
right?
Yeah.
And so I brought it up to the regional VP of the company and said, hey, man, I think I've done my time on the East Coast. I'd like to move back to San Antonio, maybe run the Texas market. Put me back in Houston, San Antonio, Austin, Dallas. I'll run that area. Because at the time, I was a regional sales manager for that sales company.
Mm-hmm.
I had worked my way up from just sales guy, general manager, the regional sales manager. And like I said, I was making good money. But I didn't want to be there anymore. And he told me, and I'll never forget this, and that changed a lot of me that day. In the office, I've requested to go back to Texas. And he said, no, I'm moving you to Boston. That's where you're going to end up running your ship, is in Boston. I said, well, I don't want to go to Boston. I said, I want to go back to Texas, where I have family and people I love and people I care about. And that's my home. Like I said, I'll work anywhere in Texas, but I want to be rooted in San Antonio. And he said, excuse my language, everybody, you pompous little fuck, you young kid who just doesn't get it. You make more money than 90% of the nation and you're 21 years old. Shut your fucking mouth and do your job. You know what I did? Anybody who knows me.
Yeah.
Anybody who knows me.
Punch him in the face.
I did not do. I restrained from that. I said, it was a pleasure working for you. And I bought a one-way ticket to San Antonio that day. It was $1,200. I loaded my bags. I took all of my other belongings, took it up to UPS, shipped it to San Antonio. That was another $500. So I spent $1,700 that day. And I left New York that day and never looked back. And I turned away making 200 and the position that I would have had would have been, really good money. But
how do you remember what you felt like on that plane ride home?
Exhilarated, relieved. I felt nothing but peace. The money meant I didn't care about the money. It was
what made you not care? I have a guess on what made you not care about the money, but I want to hear it from you first. What made you not care about the money?
There's no amount of money. This sounds so cliche. There's no amount of money that buys your happiness. There just isn't. I would risk making no money and be around people I loved and people I cared about. This is at 21 years old. Than being empty inside, making all the money in the world with no one to share it with.
I would also venture to say that you knew about yourself that you're like, I can make money. You know what I mean? Because you were like, that was always the impression I got of you, that like you were that scrappy, like hustler. Like there's people that hustle, and then there's people that hustle because that's all like they know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I would just venture to think that like it was easier to walk away knowing that you're like, well, I can like almost like a cocky or a confidence of like, I can get another one of these jobs.
Yeah.
Cause that's the person I am. Am I wrong to say that?
No, not at all. And for anybody who knows me, and I'm sure this podcast, and I will be more than, trust me, when this ended up coming out, this is going to everybody.
Okay,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
I got a guy that does, but we can do some headshots.
Sure.
And just pass out like signed copies.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But we have to do it together, and we have to do it like stepbrothers.
Like dress up like stepbrothers?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I'll do that.
Yeah, we're like, I'm perched and you're standing over me, the whole nine.
This is what we're going to do. Okay. We're going to go up to Lakeline Mall.
Okay.
And we're just going to set up a little table dressed like stepbrothers.
Oh my gosh.
With our headshots.
Please.
And we're just going to sit there. And then when people come up and ask what's going on, we're just going to sign a picture and hand it to them and just not say anything.
A word.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm down.
Okay.
I'm down.
All right, it's recorded. So
yeah, it's
oh man, they always sound like good ideas when they're coming out of my mouth, and then like I'm dressing up as one of the guys on Step Brothers. I'm like, what am I doing? What am I doing right now?
What stupid idea was this?
Okay, but which way would we dress up? Like when they were sitting on the couch, like fighting with each other, or with the sweaters?
The sweaters.
Okay,
yeah.
I kind of like the couch outfits though.
Yeah,
they'll be harder to find though.
Yeah. Actually, a buddy of mine and I did the Catalina wine mixer.
Yeah.
And I've got to send you some photos, but we did the full, I'm talking full Catalina wine mixer, white tuxes, with a flashy like neon shirt kind of thing. We actually at a bar, I'm getting so sidetracked.
It's okay. We'll come back.
At a bar, they did a Catalina wine mixer contest, Step Brothers contest.
Like
we won the whole damn thing.
So like, everybody did
everybody was like Step Brothers.
Okay, that's awesome.
My buddy and I won it. We won a helicopter.
Yeah.
A remote control helicopter, because Kelly, we don't mind mixer.
Right.
We won the helicopter, and they gave us a big igloo ice chest. It wasn't a big old fancy one, but it was and they scraped it down, and it said fucking Catalina wine mixer on it.
That's pretty cool.
So we won the ice chest, we won the helicopter, we won the whole damn thing. And I did feel like a celebrity that night. We had people begging for photos. And
right.
Of course, we're going to indulge. I don't want to be rude.
Right.
Yeah. I'm not going to be rude.
Yeah.
So going back, anybody who knows who I am and who I am at my core, I'm very ambitious.
Yes.
And that drive comes from very young years. And it comes from somewhat of my upbringing. I have a lot of my upbringing, but I have a grind in me that is unrelenting, and it's a crutch also because I don't know how to stop.
Are you even working on that though?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have to.
Yeah.
I have
And
to.
I- and I
I have to find that humbleness and that peace of I have everything I really need, but I'm always pushing. You know.
Yeah. Well, because you don't. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, like there's people that are hustlers,
Mhm.
and then there's people that hustle because that is just all they know.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like, as a compliment to you, our short history, we bartended together downtown.
Right.
That's how I met Dustin. And I just remember thinking, like, I don't know if I've met anybody that could be such an aggressive salesman and not come off aggressively. Like you have this charm about you where like I mean, let's be honest, like girls going to bars for guys and vice versa. So girls would come in and you had this way of like, I don't know, like really like engaging them. But selling it, like being intense, but selling it soft. I don't know how to explain it, but it was just like, you just had a way with people that I just thought was like, it was that's not the salesman, but the hustler in you, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I'm assuming that's how you were probably when you did sell, all the things that you've done, right?
Yeah, that's how I am now.
Yeah.
There's a I'm telling all my secrets here. There's a fine line of being good at what you're doing, knowing your product, whether that's bartending, roofing, door-to-door sales, selling condoms, whatever, and just a little bit of charm.
Right.
Not being overbearing,
Right.
not pushing it, but knowing what to say and when to say it, and making whomever you're speaking to, whatever clientele is in front of you, feel like they're making the best decision.
So let me, could I say that you know how to communicate?
That's fair.
Yeah. And it's important because I'm sure not in the same fashion, but in being married and having a spouse,
Yeah,
communication's important,
absolutely.
right? And I would assume not in a sales way, but in a way it's like it's the same kind of thing, like listening, taking in, trying to make the best decision, all the things you kind of just mentioned, right? Would you agree?
Absolutely. No, absolutely. It's just like you said, it's knowing how to, you got to read your clientele without making too many suggestions of your own. Spend time listening, see what they want, give them their options, and present it in a way of, this is another sales tactic, present it in a way of, this isn't a you do or you don't. This is a, do you want A or B?
Right.
Or C? All three options, I still win, and you still get what you want.
Right.
But
compromise, a little bit of compromise.
A little bit of compromise.
Yeah.
But and that's where a lot of people fail. Is it's all about their hustle, their grind, and it's all about them.
Yeah.
This isn't about me.
Yeah.
This isn't about me.
Yeah.
I'm here to provide a good service and give you what you want, and that was in bartending, and that was in bar ownership, and that's in life.
Right.
I treat everybody with the utmost respect, and that's one thing I would say I was raised properly with is I've got great manners. It's always yes sir, no sir. It's always yes ma'am, no ma'am. I open up doors. Chivalry is not dead.
Yeah.
You treat people well, and good things are going to come. And I've always treated people with the utmost respect, whether you're 20 years older than me or you're 6 years old. It's still yes sir, yes young man. Always respectful, and that goes a long way.
Right. Really quickly, and I think this is a compliment. So, when I met Dustin, we bartended downtown. Like, I mean, the guy had no shortage of girls that liked him. We'll just put it that way, right? And it's kind of like when like George Clooney, you're like George Clooney's getting married. You're like, what? Like George Clooney's getting married?
Yeah.
When I found out that there was a girl that like got you, I was like, somebody settled this guy down.
Yeah.
I mean, for real. Like,
Yeah.
And it's a great compliment to you. It's a great compliment to her. You know what I mean? And so, I don't know. Like, I'm assuming it's going great, right?
You're talking right up my alley, man. And I can talk, I will never do this to you. I could talk about my wife for 10 years.
Yeah.
I mean, this entire podcast, it could be about my wife.
Yeah.
My wife's, it doesn't anymore, but when we were dating and then even when we got engaged, she would refer to me as her RFB.
And that means?
Retired fuckboy.
I mean, that's.
And the reason behind that is you couldn't be more to the truth. Okay, I was a ladies' man. Fine. I liked girls. I mean, I was single. I wasn't dating anybody exclusive.
No, I wasn't implying you were doing anything shady.
No, not at all. No, but you're absolutely right. I
did
like to flirt. It was fun. It was the energy was and
you did what most people should do, to be honest.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, relationships are great, but like you only get to be 20 once. You only get to go to New York once.
Right.
You only get to tell your boss go fuck himself, maybe however many times you do that.
Yeah,
but you know what I mean? You only get a chance to live these things once. And so, don't ever be scared to push a relationship, not necessarily away.
Right.
But just go like, hey, like I'm not ready for anything because I have so much stuff I want to do.
Yeah, and that's how I was basically all through my 20s. I was traveling the world, Iceland, Ireland, Australia, New Zealand. I mean, I was all over the place, and living in Vegas, playing poker, and we'll go back into that. playing poker in Vegas, you're making so much damn money. I was just having a good time for me, man. I also didn't play poker. Let me preface. I didn't play poker exclusively in Vegas and not the whole time. I did bartend out there. I did serve tables out there, but
you made crazy ass money.
Crazy ass money. So I was living the single man's dream. I really was. I moved back to San Antonio from Vegas with a lot of money, with the intent of meeting someone. I know it sounds so cheesy.
Like you were ready.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I had done all of the traveling and wild stuff that I, not that I wanted to accomplish. That's the wrong way to put it.
No, like you did all the things you wanted to do.
Fun. Yeah. So then I started dating when I moved back to San Antonio, and just trying things out. This isn't going to work out, and what's funny is it changed from, is this girl hot, or how, we can edit this out if we want to. How sexual is she, or how wild is this one? To, is this somebody that I could see raising my future children?
And just FYI, your wife's beautiful. You know what I mean? So like, kudos to you if what you say next is right.
First of all, I scored with that.
Yeah,
she is beautiful in every aspect.
But it must be who she is that's more important, right?
This woman, when we met, and we didn't date right away. We did go on a date. And then we kind of drifted off and kind of did our own thing, but we kept reconnecting. When we did exclusively start dating, I knew before, and she would tell you, I knew before we even were exclusively dating. There was one night she had met me out somewhere, and we flirted and whatever, and she was going to be heading on her way home. So I walked her out to her car, and when she got into her car, she rolled the window down, and I gave her a kiss. And I started to walk away, and then I turned around and said, you know what? I'm going to tell you something. I'm just going to be totally off the fucking wall here. I'm going to marry you one day. This is coming from Dustin Pozan, who never, probably as much as I wanted a family and kids, I just didn't see that in my near future, if you will.
I mean, the description, retired fuckboy. I mean, right?
Yeah. I mean, we were going to have shirts printed.
Yeah.
RFB. I mean, it was a joke then. Sandra wouldn't be so happy about it now, but
Can I put that? Can I make a shirt and put it on my website?
Oh my gosh. I'll buy them.
Okay. Done.
I'll buy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, babe. I love you. That's going to be done.
Yeah.
So yeah, we when we started dating, I knew, even though I had said that to her, I'm going to marry you one day. And she actually took it very well. You would think some girl, not even dating, she's like, what is wrong with this guy? What is going on? That's kind of those are some big words. You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, Got a ring on, don't I?
Yeah.
She's beautiful in every way imaginable. She has a beautiful heart. She's intelligent. She humbles me. I'm the wildcat. We all know this. I'm the life of the party. She's the one that says, "Hey, hey, 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 let's tame it down a little bit tonight," kind of thing.
And being that Dustin, who he is, it may be when he was in his 20s, if someone had told him, hey, settle down, he'd been like, fuck you. We're fixing to turn this up. Am I wrong?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And so, to mature to that level of like, this is so important to me. This is so important to me that I have a respect for her. Like when you were talking, I was like, this is probably how George Clooney talks about his wife. You know what I mean? Like it's the same thing. But I think that everyone that finds maybe the one that's for them feels that same way. There's just a overall great level of respect
Absolutely.
for everything that person is.
And you couldn't have said it better. I respect her and our life together more than anything else.
Yeah.
Nothing is going to deter that. Nothing will get in the way of that. I knew when we were dating and I knew I was going to ask her to marry me that I didn't want to live my life a day further without her. So I made that official. She is a true blessing. Anybody who knows her, she's a true blessing.
Man, I hope all this works to get her to come on the podcast. I'm just kidding. Like I talked to Dustin before, and I was like, "Oh, well, maybe we can get her to come on like at some point." I'm just going to play her. I'm just going to send her like this clip.
Yeah,
just like you can't lose. You can't lose. So,
and she's a great mother.
Hey, and
she's a great mother,
and that shit's attractive.
God, is it though?
Yeah.
Not only is she hot.
Yeah.
But her soul is hot. She was raised properly. She has a great family. Which makes her even more sexy. She's just, all around. But how she raises, so we all, look, you've probably seen a couple times, maybe a couple times at the bar. I'm kind of a hothead.
I wasn't gonna bring it up.
I'm sorry, past tense was.
Yeah, no, and that's kind of what I was referencing.
Yeah.
Basically, if she can come along and tell you to kind of cool it.
Oh yeah.
Because you brought it up, so. Dustin was not the kind of person you want to tell cool it because that would just piss him off more. You know what I mean? Like, and that's some of that's part of being a young guy, like in testosterone,
that ego, testosterone. Like everybody, I'm the man, you're not,
Yeah. And we kind of talked about like I'm going to assume that like when you kind of lost like a little bit of that ego, you got older and wiser, that hot-headedness went away with it, right?
Man. It's funny you say that because everybody still swaps the stories, and it seems like every single time if we go out for a couple of drinks or something, somebody's going to bring up,
hey,
Dustin, remember the time that knocked that guy out because he looked at, okay, yeah, I do, but it's a fun story, but we've all heard it 100 times. And if I were to look at somebody wrong now, let me tell you, Sandra grabs my arm and she goes, not tonight.
Not on my watch.
Not tonight. It's not important. But that being said, I'm still making it sound as though that's still in me. That never leaves. But what I mean by still in me, I don't even get mad like that anymore.
Well, and
nothing upsets me that way. I don't care anymore. I don't have anything to prove to you.
Right.
I've got everything I need.
Right.
So I don't have anything to prove to you. Okay, you're upset with me. Can I buy you a shot? I apologize if I've looked at you the wrong way. I was just scanning across the. The other thing is, I don't put myself in those situations anymore. We rarely go out. We do. When we go out, we go to nice dinners and we go do nice things. It's not, we're not in the same scene that it used to be. And that changes a lot of things also.
Yeah.
You get wrapped up in the bar scene, which, we know very well. Well, that comes with the territory, especially, here and down on 6th Street stuff.
Right.
I mean, that came with the territory and we were looking for fights. Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
That's just not the same stuff anymore, man. That's not important for us.
Well, and
I have too many. First of all, I'm too damn busy. I don't have time to deal with something like that.
Right.
I work my butt off. I just don't have time for things like that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. You have a family. You have a different perspective.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just different.
Yeah.
Which is a fantastic thing. You know what I mean? So, if we were doing our timeline again, so we've kind of like we moved forward in the story, and so now we're gonna go.
We're gonna zero back.
We're gonna go
Okay.
all the way back to like the very beginning, and we talked about this a little bit before we kind of started, but
Yeah.
like we're just talking about kind of that hunger hustle, that really aggressive hustle.
Yeah.
That it probably kind of sparked from everything that happened to you as a
Yeah.
kid, right? So,
Yeah.
I don't know, just like tell me a little bit about like kind of where you kind of came from and what gave you kind of that hustle drive and drove maybe some of these things that really you used in your favor to do all your jobs, but worked against you at moments with the
Yeah.
anger and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, so mom and dad got divorced when I was super, super young. I mean, maybe 1 year old or something, so.
And you said you have so you have 6 siblings,
6.
but they're all half.
Yeah. So my mom has 5 kids, including me. So 4 siblings.
Uh-huh.
And my dad, who just passed in April, he has 2 other children.
Okay.
So I have a brother and sister on my dad's side. So
Okay.
I have 6 total.
Okay.
And my dad and I had a fantastic relationship. We were, best friends. We're actually going to Chicago on Friday. That's where I'm leaving on Friday. That's why I wanted to do this now.
Oh, yeah,
We're
yeah,
leaving on Friday. We're actually going to go formally do his service and put him to rest.
But I'm sorry for your loss, man.
Thank you. But no, he was absolutely amazing. He would light up any room. So
you got it from somewhere, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, I'm definitely opposing.
Yeah.
That's that guy was. You think I'm good? Okay, he was sick. He was 6'2" and 240 and looked like he was 30 years old. He's a stud.
How old was he when he passed?
58.
Okay, so he grew up in the like 60s, like
He
was
was-
a teenager in the 60s.
He was born in 63.
Okay, so teenager like in the 70s
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
So the world was just starting to boom. So
Mhm.
if he was a salesman at that point, he was hitting stride, right? Running into the 80s.
Yeah.
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 So what did he do for a living?
He owned a. He was in construction, but not in construction of the way of framing, which he did do also. But he owned a company for a long time called I think it was Odds and Ends Home Improvement,
Mhm.
and he did rebuilds. So refinished bathrooms and rebuilt kitchens and tore things down and flooring and you name it, he did it.
Yeah.
But he worked as a carpenter,
Okay.
essentially.
Yeah. And then your relationship with your mom?
So that's where it gets
Well,
fun.
That's why we came there.
Yeah.
That's why I asked.
That's where it gets fun. Growing up as a kid was fine until my mom met the father of my 3 younger siblings.
Okay.
So just to, I don't want to go too
Sure.
detailed.
Whatever,
but
whatever, and it's whatever you're
it
comfortable
was
with,
me,
man.
my older sister, and my mom. Boyfriends in and out. She wasn't afraid to make it aware to me that there was drugs around and we lived in some unsavory places. But that 5 years old, 6 years old, that didn't mean anything to me. That didn't scare me at all. I'm a happy little kid. Going into my middle school years, things started to change. The guy she was dating, who was now her husband, the father of my younger siblings, just some fucked up shit happened. Messed me up emotionally, physically.
Was he was abusive to you?
Yeah, a bit, mostly emotionally
Like
until
verbally? Abusive?
verbally and just neo-Nazi kind of stuff. Like you get in trouble in middle school for fighting or something, and he'd have me on the floor counting carpet threads.
No way.
Yeah, like real shit. You know what I mean? Go wash all the windows around the house. So I'd come back in. Hey, wash all the windows. He'd go, oh, let me go see him. He'd turn the hose on. I'd see him watering the grass. What it looked like. He'd grab mud, throw him back on the windows, dirty the windows back up, and say, "Now do it again."
No way.
Yeah, some fucked up shit. So it messes with you as a kid.
Do you have a relationship with him right now?
Very, cordial. Just as an adult, he went to my younger sibling actually as a child as well, and he showed up for a birthday. And I'm a grown adult now. I don't give a shit. Whatever. But in the midst of all that, it wasn't just him. a lot of other messed up stuff happened. You know, there was drugs around, and we didn't have lights on for weeks at a time, and there was never any money, and you know, they just
Wearing the same clothes to school.
yeah, getting hand-me-downs for Christmas and then getting nothing for Christmas at all when one of your best friends is getting a brand new, you know, four-wheeler or whatever. It just, you know, and I don't use that as a something that's bad, because, you know, not everybody is as fortunate as everybody else, but the appreciation, the love that I felt as a child started to drift away. And then I started feeling very segregated, as if I wasn't really of existence. And of course, you know, with the drugs involved and having an alcoholic as a stepdad. And then as I'm starting to get older into my teens, I'm going to start fighting back, and then started getting physical. And, you know, we threw hands a couple times.
I wouldn't have doubted that.
I mean, you know, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. But you know, money, I hate to put it this way, but it is what it is. Money became a thing.
For you?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
I didn't like that I didn't have any of the things that my peers had.
Yeah.
Don't have the new shoes. You just got new Jordans, and I'm wearing Fila's that were bought at Walmart that weren't new. Those were worn for 8 months by somebody else that were hand-me-downs to me.
Yeah.
That's, you know, that's embarrassing when only thing I really care about is sports and girls.
Right.
And how do you impress the girl when you're wearing these janky ass shoes that look like the dad's New Balance that he mows in the grass every single day?
Sure.
That's, you know, so I started to get ambition. And I told myself, you know, I want more. I want more than this, which, you know, and I can lead that into this. One of the phrases that I've lived by since I was younger that still holds true today until I've hit this point. And I've told this to, you know, multiple close people that I feel dire, and a couple long conversations with some drinks, and you get the heart to heart.
And all 12 people listening to my podcast.
And all 13 people listening to this cast. My ambition grew stronger as time went along because of this phrase right here. I will never allow my future family to ever go through what I had to go through.
Yeah.
My kid's not going to come from a broken home. My kid's not going to have to worry if the lights are on. My kids aren't going to have to worry if mommy and daddy are coming home. My kids aren't going to have to worry if I come home with a friend of mine, is mommy going to be passed out on the couch with a fucking tray on her lap, if you know where I'm going.
Yeah.
Dude, no, that's not me. So this ambition started coming, and it grew this hunger for money. And it's not this hunger for money of, you know, just that selfishness for money. I just wanted to be financially stable, to raise a family, and know that we'll always have a roof over our head, and we'll always have money for things that we need. Not so much of, oh, I'm 16, buy me a BMW. No, that's not how we're playing this. But you'll have the essentials. You'll have what you'll need. You'll have a vehicle at 16 to get you from A to B. But you don't need a brand new BMW, but you will have a vehicle.
Right.
Because I'm going to provide that to you.
Right.
And I'm going to make sure it's safe.
Right.
That ambition and drive drove me all through my teens, into my 20s, and into my 30s, which it led me to not being afraid to try multiple different things and go multiple different places, and quit jobs to start new jobs, and take risks and put money in investments that may fail. That ambition got me to where I am here today, and inevitably led me to find my wife, or for my wife to find me, because she says she found me.
Yeah, she found you. I mean, you couldn't have found her.
I don't know how I still don't know how I lucked out with her.
That's what I'm saying.
How was
like
she attracted to me?
Yeah, I mean, she found you.
All the things. Listen, so her mom. Oh my gosh, I got to tell this story. So
wait, what if her mom listens to this? Is she gonna be upset about it?
No, because she knows.
Okay.
She knows. No, this is a great story. When we first started dating, you know, for you who may be seeing the cast, I'm sleeved up. I didn't graduate college. I don't wear the khakis and a tucked in polo and play golf every Sunday. I was not what her mother was wanting her to marry. So
really quickly,
yeah,
my ex-wife's parents did not know I had tattoos until the day I asked her to marry
are
me.
you serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
So that was like 3 years.
Yeah.
Right. They had no idea. They maybe had some idea,
Yeah.
but like they had no idea I had tattoos. And then when I proposed, there was pictures, and then you could see my tattoos,
yeah.
and like they totally like flipped out. Anyways, so yeah,
Her mom's 100% Peruvian. Grew up Catholic, very conservative, very,
not about tattoos.
so not about tattoos.
Right.
I mean, so when we first started dating, it's funny. Her mom, they had went to dinner or something, or she went over to her mom's house, and her mom said, well, maybe we just keep our options open a little bit.
What?
Oh yeah. So
That's
then,
aggressive.
Yeah, well, she didn't say it to me, but
Yeah.
So then as we were dating and moving along, her dad was super cool. Her dad's a musician and also very, very smart. Used to be an editor or an author or editor for a newspaper or something. I mean,
He's an artist.
he's smart.
Yeah.
A very intelligent guy and super chill. So he didn't care about anything. Hey, what's up, man?
Yeah.
You want a beer? Real cool. But her mom all the time just, it was always kind of a little uncomfortable, and she made it feel that way. She made it known that I wasn't quite welcome.
Did she want her to marry someone
From A&M who played golf and had a degree and was going to be a lawyer?
Well, but I mean, like, did your race have anything to do with it?
No.
I just out of curiosity.
Yeah, no,
you know what I mean?
Because her dad's white and her mom's Peruvian.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah,
it wasn't a race thing.
Yeah,
It was just who I was.
Sure.
Very ambitious.
Sure.
I'm unorthodox. I do have, if you will, a hustle.
Well,
right.
I was going after we jumped into this, but just really quickly,
Yeah.
when you were describing like your whole, timeline there, like that's what I mean by hungry hustler.
Yeah,
like I mean,
absolutely.
and that's where it comes from, being hungry.
Yeah,
like literally being hungry, probably at times, right?
Oh yeah.
And so like that's where that kind of like comes from.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to where we were. So. They did not care that. Wait, why are you trying to pour more of that right now? Here, I'll take some.
The blends.
Yeah.
Gotta have some blends.
This is like really fancy. I don't drink whiskey. But you know what? I don't care if it's supposed to have special ice. I'm gonna get some ice cubes.
Okay, I'll take a couple.
And then while I'm getting ice cubes, remember where we were.
Okay. Remember where we were.
No, so we were saying that your race wasn't a problem.
Yeah, race wasn't an issue at all. It was just me. Listen, it was me. I'm sleeved up. I don't have a 9-to-5 job. I'm in a sales position. Money's not, this is yours. I'm not consistent, or my money's not consistent, if you will, because
it wasn't at the time.
Well, no, I mean, even now, listen, I'm in sales. So however, I'm very consistent on making money.
There was a snowstorm and other weather stuff.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is I don't have a 9-to-5 and I don't have a salary.
Yeah.
I'm in a commission. If I don't sell, I don't make money. Okay, that is very unsettling to the to the mother who loves her daughter and wants only the best for her daughter and wants something stable and consistent because that's how she was raised. That's how it's supposed to be. And excuse me, if you don't have consistency and you don't have stability, everything can go haywire.
Yeah.
I respect that.
Yeah.
I respect that. So over time, I tried to.
So how did you eventually win her over?
It wasn't easy.
Sure.
It wasn't easy.
It didn't sound easy so far.
This went all the way up to the day that I told her parents that I was going to ask her to marry me.
So did you ask her dad?
I asked her dad. Mm-hmm. And he said, does that mean I get to go to the wedding? So that was a yes.
Right.
Does that mean I get to go?
Right.
Absolutely. I'll get you a ticket. No problem. Then I asked her mom respectfully. And well, actually, I don't want to say, I kind of told her mom, I said, I wanted you to know, and I wanted to give you notice first, almost asking for your blessing, if you will. So I'm basically asking, I want to ask Sandra to marry me. Well, her mom started crying. and then got upset
Really?
and said no. Oh,
Really?
yeah, no. Basically, word for word ended up coming out of her mouth. Mind you, we were on the Guadalupe River, having a couple drinks. We're in the tubes. We're chilling. You're not good enough for my daughter. Well, Dustin Pozan came back out for the first time in a long time.
Oh man.
Yeah, it wasn't a good look for me, but it worked out for the best, and I'll follow up on that. I always showed her mom the utmost respect and never I never overstepped my boundary. But when she told me I couldn't marry her daughter, I respectfully responded with, "Listen, I'm gonna marry your daughter, with or without your blessing. I'm gonna marry your daughter. I love her with everything in my core, and whether you like it or not, she loves me too, and I treat your daughter really well. You don't have to worry about her with me. I will give my life for her, but I'm gonna marry your daughter. So you can either get on board or maybe you'll never meet your grandchildren." Should have never said that.
Sure.
And Nora, I apologize. I love you so much. You are a great mother. And you know,
But
our relationship is
it's
amazing.
It's an event that happened.
It's an event that happened.
She was there. She knows what happened. I'm
Yeah,
sure she
we had
appreciates
our
you.
moment.
Yeah, but I mean, you're just telling the story.
Oh, I'm telling the story.
Yeah.
Now,
Can't separate y'all, right?
love her.
Yeah. Y'all doing shots together and stuff?
There's been time. I've gone over and just hung out with them at the house and spent time with her. Sandra's off at work, and I'm just spending time with my mother-in-law. She's a great nana, grandma.
Sometimes you gotta break a couple eggs, make an omelet. You know what I mean?
Now our relationship is fantastic. We have great conversations. We've had a couple drinks together and had some really good, conversations.
That's great though.
She's amazing. She really is. Her whole family, they're awesome. But my relationship has grown very strong with her mom.
What I kind of take away from that is that, like, in this weird way, like you let her know, like, kind of who you really are. I mean, that hungry hustler.
Yeah,
that's who I am.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna ask myself for. I'm not gonna ask for forgiveness in that, or I'm not gonna be ashamed of that. Is where I'm going with that. I don't want to be ashamed of who I am.
But like that she probably kind of saw that in you,
right?
And that's kind of probably what changed her mind. Whereas most people kind of would get this negative view of someone that hustles like that. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Absolutely.
And so, but she gained respect, and I think that's like really awesome. You know what I mean? So, yeah. But so, anyways, like how I usually kind of spin this whole thing up at the end, and I'll just let you kind of like talk to it. And you've mentioned stuff. So I always just like to ask people, like, what they do to create moderation in our life, create balance. And we've already spoken to, just the extremes that you were,
right,
and how much different you are now. So I just want you to kind of talk about what do you do other than make sure your wife is around all the time? What do you do to just be the best version of yourself for your son, for her, for your job and everything? Like, what do you do?
Before I respond to this,
okay,
can we take a 2-minute intermission?
You need to pee?
Yeah.
Hey, you know what's great? Because I need to replace the batteries on the speaker.
Beautiful.
So, yeah, it's awesome. Okay.
Love it.
All right, everybody, we're back. Everybody took a bathroom break. So, and I told Dustin, I was like, you better come with something magnanimous after this break. But so what we were talking about was what do you do to help create balance? Because you've just openly, you've admitted like, hey, like I used to live kind of this really extreme life. You know?
Well, one, now that I'm married, child, a great job, a great career. I don't even call this a job. I'll do this for for the long run now. I love my career. I have a very balanced life as it is now. Things have settled in so much to where there was so much chaos going in 27 different directions. Now being married and my son and just my day-to-day life, I have zeroed in and honed in on this what would you call it? This balanced aura, this self energy of I don't need a million things anymore. So how I keep my life moderated is because everything is so balanced now. I'm just a stripper on the weekends.
Yeah, you can't strip during the week and have a kid.
Can't.
No.
So on the weekends,
Only.
I tear it up and I get on stage and I do what I have to do.
You just do
to still be wild.
So just Friday, Saturdays, Thursday nights, maybe. Like, you know.
Thursdays if I'm feeling real frisky.
Are there male strip clubs in San Antonio?
Yeah,
Have you ever male stripped?
I did.
You know what? Like, I feel like I knew that.
I did.
How fuck? We're supposed to be talking about like moderation of life. Now we're talking about male strip.
Sorry, man.
No. We'll come back.
Sorry.
We'll come back to it. But like, we got no. Just really quickly.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Wild.
Did you do that in San Antonio?
Yeah, and in Vegas.
You did in Vegas?
A little bit.
What did you do? A show in Vegas?
No, not a show.
Where did you do? Do you not want to say where you did?
So
wait, hang on. Did you do gay clubs?
I did.
But that's big time money, right?
I did. I did not like strip dancing, but I did like stage dancing, if you will, at a gay bar for a little while.
But you made
killed it.
Yeah,
I made so much money.
do you know why I think that is? So I've talked to my gay guy friends, and it's basically because a dude is a dude.
Right.
Whether you like dudes or you like girls or you like whatever.
And there were so many single women that came to the gay bars so much.
With them.
I mean, I felt comfortable.
I mean.
And not that I would feel uncomfortable anyways. I got gay friends and we won't go down that road, but that doesn't mean it. Listen, I don't care your sexuality. I don't care.
Well, but
that's life.
Well, what I was getting at is that guys are guys. And so guys throw money at shit all the time. Right. You know what I mean? And then the girls are encouraging it on.
Yeah.
So can you so no one will hear this, just blink one. Did you hook up with a lot of girls stripping at gay bars?
Yes.
Yeah. But that wasn't a blink, but whatever. It works for me.
Yes. Is the mic on?
Yeah, that's on. I already changed the battery.
Yeah.
Well, it's
fun.
Oh man,
it's fun.
There's gonna be so
and
many.
Half the time it was the gay guy that was like pushing it on, like, oh no, baby, you need him tonight. If I can't have him, you gotta have him. And I had fun.
Did you tip those guys? Like I was like, here's $20 back. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. You know what I mean?
Oh, and we're back.
Did they didn't care that you were straight, right?
No.
Yeah.
No, actually, it made them feel more comfortable, and they would treat me as if, they were just having their fun, Still call me baby, and still
hang on,
it's still them.
Is it kind of like
them? Like that's
no, that's not what he meant.
Yeah, that's not what I meant at all. Anybody,
don't at me.
Anybody who knows me.
Yeah. So, but was it more like like when you go to a strip club with girls and then they're talking to the dancers,
right?
Is it kind of like that a little bit?
Yes. That's a fantastic way to explain.
Thank you.
Kudos.
Thank you. Yeah.
That was very.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
That was very well said.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's like taking your girls to the strip club and then they're up there on stage and they're the ones throwing.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it. Yeah. That's exactly what
You're
it was.
welcome. Anyway, so we were talking about moderating your life.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah. If we're going to extend this out a little bit, it might as well be for a good story. So.
Yeah, absolutely. True honesty. The one thing my wife does very well, she still allows me to be me. And I think that's very important in a relationship, right?
Yeah. Well, you want to always be able to be your authentic, like who you are.
Absolutely.
If you can't be who you are in a relationship, there's already a problem.
Right.
Because you just can't maintain that false persona.
Right.
Right.
Correct.
Right.
You have to still be true to you.
Right.
And she and I are very good about she's still who she is and I'm still am who I am. My life as a whole has, as I was saying, it's calmed a lot. So I'm happy where I am and who I am now compared to where I was even 5 years ago. My life is simple now. I love being a dad. I love being a husband. I love my job and I enjoy going to work every day. So that in itself is the prize. And by living moderately, I don't have to change too much about who I am anymore because this is who I am now. So I've where things were so chaotic, I think they were so chaotic for so long because I didn't really have the direction that I really wanted. The money was good. The hustle was good. The chasing girls was fun.
All,
That
all
was
you-
all fun.
Well, all you knew from childbirth was chaos.
Yeah, correct.
So if things aren't chaotic, you're like, what's wrong, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And it's funny you say that because I was scared that when the time came in my life where
The chaos is gone.
the chaos was gone, would I be able to handle that? And would I ruin that? Would I
Yeah.
create chaos that didn't need to be there? Because that's what I was used to.
So let me take another guess. Let me go ahead and I got another one.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say your wife makes it okay to be calm.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'll follow up with that. Like I said, she still allows me to be me. She's still herself, as conservative and quiet and, self-controlled as she is. She likes a little bit of chaos too, in the sense of every once in a while we just say, "Hey,"
Well, you balance each other.
and that's living moderately, right?
Yeah. It really
Is having the balance,
it-
still being able to be you, but the new me is not who I once was, but still being able to be me. That every once in a while we just feel like going to tear it up a little bit.
Well, and we follow each other on social media. Like you'll post pictures like, I'm going out with my guys, and we're doing a guys thing,
Yeah.
and you can't have balance in a relationship, like, and I don't. If you're just always staying at home with each other,
Right.
but you don't have balance if you're always going out separately. Or
So I have a buddy, not to cut you off,
No,
but
but-
you're gonna love this.
Yeah.
I have a good buddy of mine who actually met in Vegas when I lived in Vegas. He now lives in San Antonio as well. He has a phrase that he and his wife used and kind of bestowed on to me, and my wife and I, we use it as well. There's you time, me time, and us time.
right.
If you're always trying to live on you time, or I'm always trying to pull on me time and you have to succumb to that, and it's always me, 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 you're never going to have any balance. So I live my life, we live our life, our home. We love our time together. We love it.
Sure.
Oh man, I've never watched so many series and shows in my whole life. I can't wait to get home to start our show back on.
Yeah.
We're gonna get home tonight and we're gonna start, at least get one episode.
Right, sure. Yeah.
We
Yeah.
love our time. But every once in a while, she wants to go out with a friend and go to El Marisol and have some cheese buzz and get some time, a little
So
bit
you
of her
have guy
time.
time, right? With your son. Right? You're doing guy time with your son.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
And I love my time with my son, and she loves her time with our son. So every once in a while, after a long days of work, and if I just say, "Babe, had a long week. I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna go grab a couple drinks with the guys." And where I normally go when I say the guys, it's guys that were like in my wedding.
Yeah.
I'm going with
It's
the
your guys.
It's my guys.
Yeah.
Our relationship is so fantastic that she's never had to worry about even being an RFB.
Yeah. I mean,
She's known since day one. She has nothing to worry about with me. There's no insecurities in her mind.
and she trusts you.
She trusts me.
Yeah.
And I trust her with my
And
heart.
you don't break that trust.
And you can't.
Yeah.
You can't.
You can't expect somebody to trust you if you break their trust.
It doesn't make any sense.
You know what I mean?
So that's
Very
just
simple.
that's science.
Yeah. That it really
That's
is.
science.
It's math at least.
Math. Yeah.
And science probably.
She was a science teacher.
Yeah.
She
So
she was a middle school teacher.
so she knew.
Yeah, she knew.
She knew science.
But our relationship is very, very open. You'd say communication is key. We touched on that at the beginning of the episode.
Right.
Communication is so important. I've never had the kind of communication with any female that I have with my wife. We talk about everything. Here's a fun fact. We've been together. Shit. Sorry, babe.
I mean, shit. I mean, I slept.
Coming on 6 years.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Somewhere in the mix.
I mean,
We've never had a fight.
discussions, arguments.
Discussions, arguments, disagreements that we in 5 minutes high five out. We've never had a fight. Now
it sounds like you're doing a little bit of like kind of setting boundaries. Go like, hey, 5 minutes of arguing. That's all, or a discussion. That's all we get. Take a break.
yeah, right.
Like, I mean, like, is that what you're saying, right?
No. We just communicate so well that when we argue or have a disagreement, she has a side, I have a side. We meet in the middle. And in 10 minutes, we're watching a show and cuddling again. We don't ever go to sleep angry. I tried when we started dating. You know, we'd have a little disagreement on something, and I would throw a tantrum, if you will.
Yeah.
And well, fuck it, I'm gonna sleep on the couch. And she'd go, "You're cute. Get your cute little butt in the bed.
Yeah.
You're gonna cuddle me." And that was the end of that. You know, kind of thing.
Yeah.
We've never had anything to fight about because we just talk about everything and communicate so well, which is why I think our marriage is so fantastic. We don't. There's nothing to hide or hold back. If something's on your mind,
over communicate. Like, I mean, you're just like,
yeah,
like we're going to communicate about everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you know, if here's a prime example. So I went to a bachelor party last week or the week before for one of the guys that was in my wedding, and he gave out these, you know, golf ball markers.
Yeah.
I don't play golf, but
Yeah.
golf ball markers, you know, it could be whatever. Well, he had these little chips that look like poker chips, and on all of the markers, it was a different sexual position.
Okay.
So it was like, you know, 69 or whatever. You get the gist.
Yeah.
So he was giving them out to the guys at the bachelor party, and I grabbed a couple and took them home and put them on my table when I got home. And this was, like I said, almost 2 weeks ago. I think yesterday or the day before, she sends me a text, and it's this marker, and it's like, I think the one that I had is like some girl down on her knees. It's just silhouettes, if you will.
Mhm.
She goes, "What the fuck is this?" And I started busting out laughing. I mean, I'm in the truck and I'm almost pissed laughing. I almost have to pull over because just what she saw and what is it? What is this?
Right.
And I tell her
It's not a thing that you're in trouble.
Yeah, no.
It's a
that's
thing. It's like, what is this?
Yeah, what are they? What?
It's like
why do you have that? What is
literally
this?
the question she's asking you is
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah,
There's no hidden agenda. There's no
Correct.
passive aggressiveness.
correct.
She's asking you, what the fuck is
Yeah,
this?
Yeah. Where
Right.
did you like? What is this?
Right.
So I explain her, and then she sends me a meme of The Office with what's the main character of The Office? Steve Carell.
Yeah.
Steve-
Michael Smith. Fucking
Michael
Michael, whatever.
Steve.
No, his name really is Steve Carell on the show. It's
Oh, okay, yes.
Mike-
In the show, Michael, right?
Whatever.
Or whatever the hell his name is. I don't
Yeah.
care. It's
I don't watch
the
it.
guy.
Yeah.
And the meme is him putting his hands on his face, going, you
Yeah.
know, just
Yeah,
totally
yeah.
sarcastic, smart ass.
Yeah.
And that's just who we are. I mean, that's us in a nutshell. Is we talk about everything, we make big jokes about everything, and our relationship stays really strong because we just know how to have fun with each other.
Well, I mean, life can be really fun if you can create trust with your partner.
Right.
It can be a lot of fun. There's a lot of people that have been married for a really long time that have really good relationships with those people because they trust each other.
Right.
And you have to have that to be successful. And
Yeah.
you should fight for it. You should fight for the trust between the two of y'all. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like really sucks for you. But that's not that doesn't make it any less part of the fight
Right.
of being honest, being vulnerable, those kinds
Right.
of things. And I would assume that someone that got you to be vulnerable and honest
Yeah.
and all, you know, like not passive aggressive, I'm gonna go sleep on the couch, stuff like that.
Right.
That person earns your respect.
Absolutely.
Right. And
Absolutely.
and that's what makes y'all work, I would
And
assume.
I continue fighting for that every day.
Yeah.
She's lightened my life so much that I live my day, and not in a sense, not what I'm saying verbatim, but I live every day to impress her, to continue impressing her. We say all the time, we're going to keep dating.
Yeah.
Marriage doesn't mean that life is over. We're just going to keep dating. We still go on dates. We still flirt. We still, you know, every single time I walk in the kitchen, I grab her butt and say, "Hey, cute butt."
Yeah.
It's just, we're still the same people when we started dating. We just have a bigger life together now.
Yeah.
We have a house, we have dogs, we have a baby.
Well, I mean, like you would think all you want in a relationship is a level of security.
Mhm.
And the reason people probably kind of get married is because they want security. So, but security is not necessarily found through marriage.
Right.
Right. Security needs to be there when you get married already. Do you know what I mean? And so,
Can you say it for the people in the back?
yeah. So do you know what I'm
Get-
saying? And so, like, you know, marriage should be what you do because it should be a reward for what you found in security, not
Right.
trying to create it.
Right.
You know, I mean, I think a lot of people kind of miss that. And I think you didn't.
obviously. You know?
And we did it right. You know, we dated, we moved in together. We went on some trips.
Didn't have sex before marriage.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
No, I'm a gentleman.
Yeah. I know. Is it
I'm a male stripper gentleman.
Yeah. What's your mother-in-law's name? Nora?
Yeah.
Nora. Yeah. No sex before marriage, Nora.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. That's why your grandbaby was so late. Anyways.
Oh my God. So yeah. Yep.
So, but so to kind of let's wrap this thing up, what I'm hearing you say is that you didn't lose yourself in her. There's a you, there's a her, there's y'all, there's us.
Correct.
Right. And that balance creates your moderation. That creates your balance. That's what makes it work. But you can't have that without trust. Would that be a good way of summing that up?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I think you said it, you know, much better than I could have. I mean, that is it in a nutshell. Is I live my life a much different way than I did in the past. And it's because of my life and my wife and the life we have together now. But just like everything else in moderation, she still never tried to change me.
Yeah.
I'm still allowed to be who I am. I just, in return and over time and just through maturity and age, the old me, that isn't me anymore. Anyway, I am now who I am.
Right.
And I love where I am.
It's very freeing.
But when that little bit of chaos likes to come out, someone just go tear, you know, she has no problem to say, go tear it up, be home in a good hour. Just remember you got to work and you got a baby.
Right. Right. And she trusts you to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you don't want to fuck that up.
No.
You know what I mean? And I don't know if people just understand that it's a certain level of a free fall when you do that. You know, like that level of trust of like, hey, he doesn't want to fuck this up. I don't want to have to get in his ass. I asked him to be home at a certain time. It's a respect. It's a whole thing. And
Now,
like, I mean, but you know, I'm assuming like, hey, say you're going to be late or say somebody gets kind of wild. You just call, right? Like it's not like you're in trouble.
I was going to say, if I'm going to this specific place that I go to a lot, if I say I'm going there and I say I'll be home at 1 and she says, do not come home later than 1. I know where you're going and I know what happens because a couple of the guys that work there, first of all, my little brothers work there and a couple of my great buddies who were in my wedding work there.
This is the male strip club?
No,
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
She knows if I say 1, I'll be home at 3:15.
Right.
If I'm going there, it's 3:15 because I'm going to close it down and I'm going to bullshit. We're going to go to the office. We're going to have some extra shots after the bar club. You know, we're going to spend time together. I mean, that's when I go out with the boys to go see that group of people. I'm there to go and I'm going to enjoy myself.
You're there to be in that moment.
Yeah.
Right.
But I do communicate with her. I do text her.
Yeah.
Even at 2:00, I'll say, well, you know what's going on? She goes, half the time she's asleep. So she doesn't answer anyways. But yeah, she knows in that occasion. So when I say I'll be home at 1 and I don't break that rule, if I go to this one place, she just already knows. Okay, so I'll see you at 3:30.
But I mean, that it's just another product of like good communication.
Right.
I mean, like, and not having a false expectation of something.
Right.
Like realizing what something is.
Now, if you're going to a random bar, now listen, let's bring it into other people's lives, right? You're going to wherever and you say to your significant other, I'm going to be home at 1 and there's no communication. You don't show up till 4:30. Where the fuck were you?
Yeah.
What happened and why? What's going on here?
Well, no communication.
No communication.
Right. So we've all learned a lesson, kids. Communication
is key.
Yeah. Did you have a good time?
I had a great time.
Dude,
thank you so much for having me.
No. Thank you so much for doing this. You drove all the way from San Antonio for this. I really appreciate it.
This was a blast, man.
I'm so glad you said that. Like, I really want people to kind of like, you know, feel at home and just come in and just bullshit and talk about life. And so maybe somebody kind of finds something that they relate to. You know what I mean? That like we're all kind of connected in this weird way.
I think we are.
Yeah.
I 100% believe that.
Yeah. So anyways, but I really appreciate it. Give me a hug and get you out of here.